The holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, KK. G's up. Little scrap. I got money. Be a me. Money in the bank. See you,
I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink.
I'ma get that.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm happy to welcome on to the Wealth Building Wednesday platform, our weekly spotlight for socially innovative Black and small businesses, a Chef Tiffany Swinson, who is the founder and does the day-to-day operations for a business called Something Good to Eat. Tiffany Swinson, welcome.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. Just in time for the holidays when everybody's trying to stuff our faces with delicious things. We learn about your business. Tell me a little bit about Tiffany the chef.
Yes, my name is Tiffany Swinson. I am born and raised in Los Angeles, California. My home is Inglewood, California. I grew up in Inglewood. I have a twin sister.
Tell me about you, the chef. Like, what do you specialize in? What kinds of things do you like to cook?
Oh, so I like to cook my family's background is from New Orleans, so I like to cook the New Orleans Cajun food and give you every option that you need. I went to culinary school. I went to the Art Institute in Santa Monica. I graduated there, and then I traveled to Paris and stayed in Paris for 6 months. And then came back and decided to move in forward with catering and got a foot wet in the door with Laurie's and Yama Shirls. And I just started going in there from that direction. A variety of different cuisines, whatever your thoughts are, whatever you want, I can pretty much make.
It sounds like you went on a whole culinary journey. You went to culinary school, then you went to France, then you did some work in different platforms and venues around LA. So if you had to describe yourself, you said you love to do the Cajun stuff. Would you say, I don't know the different categories of chefs. Would you say you're like more of a down home or gourmet, or how would you describe yourself? Both. You do it all.
I like both. Like I could pretty much do both. I could give you a fusion. We could go from one end of the world to the next end of the world. I don't really I can't even say really, but I do enjoy my hometown, which my family is from New Orleans. So I will say that I could go more with the South and the Southern style food, but more so the Cajun food. And
if you were in a contest, I don't know. I watched some of those cooking contests a while ago. But let's say you were in a worldwide contest. What would be your dish that would just knock them out, like your most delicious thing that you make?
So I make really good empanadas. I call them a Creole empanada. So it's a mixture of like a jambalaya mixed with dirty rice, and you put them in a nice flaky shell.
Sounds pretty yummy. I'm feeling breakfast right now. So you are the founder of an organization, a business called Something Good to Eat. Tell me what y'all do.
So we offer all the services. We do private work, we do corporate contracts, and we do small gatherings and large gatherings. I've had the company since 2007. We've worked with a variety of people, and we really focus more so and hold on to our nonprofit directions because those are the ones that we felt like we could get those and we are secure, guaranteed, and we have done very well with those. So I would say like we've pretty much honed in on our nonprofits and kept it going good with just the larger companies that needed the work, that needed the everyday situations. Like the lunches, the breakfasts, or whatever their company needed. We would, provide the food or whatever it is that they wanted.
And I see that you have different menus here. I'm looking at your website, which is somethinggoodtoeat.com with the number 2, somethinggoodtoeat.com. I see Tiffany's tasting menus, chef's cuisine choice, custom charcuterie boards. Talk to me about that. That sounds like a holiday fave.
Oh yes, those are our number one things going out the door. Currently, right now, we have an order out that someone called us yesterday asking for 60 boxes.
60,
so
wow!
They're nice, and they have to be due today at 2:00. So yes, they are flying off the wall, but they're so good. We put our special twist to them. We have about 3 or 4 skewers in them. We have, we'll make these cute little roses. We make it, whatever the client wants inside of it, we put in there. But we also make sure it's the love that we give and pay attention to details with it as well, so that they will always come back to us.
Yeah, and I see that you have a lot of different options here. It sounds like you can work with people to figure out what it is that they want to serve.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, well, so if what you said you do corporate and everything from a small party to a big corporate event. So if I wanted to have you cater my shindig, how does that go? How much notice do I need? What is the process like for that?
So if you gave us a call today, we would take your information. We would also request a budget. We would go over what type of event it is. We will then tailor the menu directly towards your crowd of people. And then we would go from there for the different cuisines, and then we would create the menu that you would like. So we would offer you like 3 to 4 different options, and then you would be able to pick from them.
Okay. Sounds good. And this is 100% Black-owned business, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lovely thing. So if folks are interested, because I know people are pulling together holiday parties, and some are even planning right now for their January plans, they can just go to the website. Is that the best way to contact you?
Yes, absolutely. They can go to the website and fill out the application, fill out the form, and somebody will get right back to them ASAP. Okay,
somethinggoodtoeat.com. This is your moment here. I hope your business is going great, by the way. We're building, we're always in support of people, small businesses, women-owned businesses, and especially Black-owned businesses that you would thrive. So what else do you want to say on the way out the door about your catering business, Chef Tiffany Swinson?
Yes, I would say that we take our time. We're very caring and we're very responsible. We try to make every memory that you have with us great. And we always love to leave the last impression as you guys would come back to us every time that you needed our services.
All right. So if you want Black-owned catering, and we are encouraging folks to recycle Black dollars, because I feel like that is one of the ways that we build wealth, one of the key building blocks to wealth, to keep those dollars in our community a little longer than whatever it is, 30 minutes or 2 hours that we tend to keep it in there now. Somethinggoodtoeat.com with the number 2. Chef Tiffany Swinson, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And may your holidays be very, very, very busy. It's the perfect time to call me. If you're concerned about something going on in the world, let's talk about it. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
On behalf of the Ayers family, KBLA Talk 1580 announces the public funeral services for our very own Robin Ayers on Saturday, December 21st, 12 noon, in the living room at the Faithful Central Bible Church, 400 West Florence Avenue in Inglewood. Robin will be sorely missed by all who knew her and the many lives she touched. We will hold on to our fondest memories forever. Family and friends are invited to come celebrate Robin's joyful life Saturday, December 21st at 12 noon in the living room at Faithful Central Bible Church, 400 West Florence Avenue in Inglewood. KBLA Talk 1580 extends sincere condolences to the Ayers family. Robin will always be in our hearts.
So the thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it's uncomfortable to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. And only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for up to 8 hours for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer's suggested price, however, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer, excludes 8-count packs.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby!
Starting Monday, January 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited.
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornel West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back-to-back?
Oh my God.
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DiPrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up.
That's what I want.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
Slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Yes, Molly Bell. Molly Bell said back-to-back Tiffany's. I did notice that it was a Tiffany morning around here. And I wanted to give out the information because so many people were kind enough to tap in, want to support Tiffany Willoughby Herrard in her quest to get those charges dropped for 50 people who were protesting or supporting student protests and faculty there in Irvine. So on Instagram, it's FSJP_UCI, FSJP, Faculty and Students for Justice in Palestine _UCI, FSJP _UCI, and the student group is sjp.uci. And there's a website for the national organization, which is fjp-network.org. So all of those are places where you can get the information on where to write and who to call. Orange County, of course, DA is listed in the phone book. And I know that those calls and letters do make a difference. I'd love to hear from you. Where you at? 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. So I kind of feel conflicted here because I feel like I'm doing the same thing that I'm accusing the mainstream media of doing, which is I'm talking about Trump more than I'm talking about Biden, and it seems like he's already the president. However, I think he's also making provocative moves to do that. He is now coming after the Des Moines Register and the pollster who ran a poll showing he was losing. This is really dangerous, and we can thank CBS because they have definitely emboldened him. Donald Trump has always been litigious. My daddy has money, I'm gonna sue you. That's been his attitude probably since he was 3, when he was on that $250,000 a month salary that he started when he was an infant. And I'm not making that up. It was actually real. I think it was a way of money laundering for his dad, the wealthy Fred Trump, who was once arrested at a KKK rally in New York. But I digress. He's always been litigious. Sue. Sue's like other people brush their teeth. But now he's emboldened because CBS handed over that $15 million plus $1 million in legal fees, which they absolutely did not have to do. He would not have won that case. He didn't. What George Stephanopoulos said was not libel. What he did was quote what the judge said. The judge said because New York State has such a narrow definition of rape as being only penetration by the penis, that they had to call it sexual assault and not rape, because the legal definition is so narrow. But what the judge said is what we commonly think of as rape is what the president-elect did to E. Jean Carroll. So that it's a technicality to say that it's sexual assault instead of rape. That, in fact, he is an adjudicated sexual assaulter, but he would be called an adjudicated rapist were it not for the narrow legal definition. That's what Stephanopoulos said. That's not libel. That's what the judge said. That's him quoting what the judge said. They would have won. CBS backed down because they're trying to kiss his butt. And the butt-kissing parade is on, with Mark Zuckerberg running to Mar-a-Lago to kiss his behind and kick in $1 million for the inauguration, air quotes, inauguration fund. At this rate, he'll actually be a billionaire again. With Jeff Bezos skulking his little behind over there to give another $1 million and kiss the ring. And it's not because they love Trump, and it's not because they're scared of losing lawsuits. It's because they're scared of losing business. It's a business decision. CBS, through journalism, Stephanopoulos, and the entire American press under the bus because of their business bottom line. They need access to the White House. They want to be good in good with the chief executive of the country. They don't want to be in court with the president of the United States. A bad look. So they betrayed the entire concept of free speech and the press. That's what they did. And the Des Moines Register and all of the other papers and organizations, and little and small, can thank CBS for just caving at a time when we needed to stand firm. And it's so ironic to me because we constantly criticize the press in other countries for being state-controlled and for being biased, and how in authoritarian states the messages that are put out in the media are more or less drafted by the lawmakers. Well, that's where you're going. If you're willing to cave, and join the Brown Nose Brigade, that could potentially lead to the ruination of the American press, which we've been so proud and arrogant about. And in reality, I always say this, there's no such thing as subjectivity. We all see the world through our own eyes. What we can be is fair. We can agree to be fair and unbalanced, because we see the world through the perspective of the person we are, through the upbringing that we have. And yes, we can be as fact-based as possible. But even your little bias meter has a bias, right? And unless we acknowledge that, okay, let me fact check that. Unless we acknowledge that we have a bias, we're actually perpetuating it. Yeah. So we're at a point where anyone, even a little, the LA Watts Times or KBLA, can be sued. And they're going to feel a lot of pressure to settle. It is ABC. You're right, Miles. It's ABC. That's even worse because that's Disney. The Mouse House. I don't know why I thought it was CBS. But basically, they're buying him off. It's really $16 million because it's $1 million for legal fees. And we can come up with 1 million excuses. They've got it. That's probably cheaper for them, right? Give the guy the $16 million. We would have spent more than that fighting the lawsuit. But it's not what a major press organization would have done in the past. It's really not. And I'm guessing, but I feel like it's all about their bottom line. And so to hell with the Des Moines Register and whoever else he decides to sue. And the other thing is, remember when on the campaign trail, when he didn't like, I don't know if it was the 60 Minutes interview or whatever he doesn't like, when he doesn't think the press is flattering to him, which is not our job, by the way. He has threatened to take away people's broadcast licenses. So I think it's a combination of profit motive, the profit motive of access to the White House, of not having to be in court with the president, and also fear of having your license taken. But that again, what we're looking at is what we'd expect from an authoritarian regime. Threats to the press, don't print this, don't print that. And if a politician can sue every time they don't like what a poll says, we might as well kiss polling goodbye. I mean, the whole idea of a poll is that it tells you what we think might be going on with voters. They're never guaranteed to be accurate. In fact, we've seen in the last, I'll say 10 years, that they've been quite inaccurate many times for any number of reasons, including the fact that, they may or may not have access to people's cell phones or likely voters or whatever the reasons for these biases. But if we can sue every time we don't like a poll, I mean, that doesn't even make sense. If you're a politician, you want a poll to tell you where your weaknesses are so you can go out and shore up that population, so you could campaign more in that area or fix your image around this particular issue or whatever the polling shows. But if politicians can sue every time they don't like a poll, that's a problem. And it looks like it's a whole problem that we are getting ready to have. It's a new paradigm. I know a lot of these playbooks seem old. Fascism is not new. The philosophy of white supremacy is not new. The impact of oligarchical billionaires on the press, the mainstream narrative is not new. But this level of direct control, influence, and threatening, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in my lifetime. 800-920-1580. We are KBLA Talk 1580, and we do have a lot to talk about.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A 7.3 magnitude earthquake in the Pacific Island nation Vanuatu damaged the U.S. Embassy and caused communication outages, killing more than one person. All U.S. Embassy personnel safely evacuated. Congress will vote this week on a stopgap spending bill that includes new restrictions on U.S. investments in Chinese technology and AI aimed at protecting national security. The NBA All-Star Game will feature a new format this season, a 3-game tournament between 4 teams, including the Rising Stars winner. Honorary GMs include Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Candace Parker. The event is on February 16th in San Francisco, California. And Universal Pictures has renamed next year's Wicked sequel to Wicked for Good. The film covering the second act of the Broadway musical will be released on November 21st, 2025. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
More road games are coming up for Bronny James. LeBron's son will play with the South Bay Lakers in the G League Showcase this week in Orlando. When Bronny was assigned to South Bay in November, the original plan was to limit him to home games only. In South Bay's last 3 games, 2 of them on the road, Bronny is averaging 20 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. First game for South Bay in the 4-day showcase is Thursday. The Milwaukee Bucks were 2-8 in November. Last night, they won the NBA Cup championship in Vegas. They beat Oklahoma City 97-81. A monster triple-double for Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo, 26 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists. Former NFL star Michael Vick, a sensational quarterback back in the day, will be the new head football coach at HBCU Norfolk State. More details on Vic's new job this afternoon. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, where climate is king. Climate is king.
Whether you're going over the river and through the woods in the capable Silverado 1500, getting the choir to church on time in the 3-row Traverse.
Thank you!
Or driving cross town to deliver your famous Cajun-spiced holiday turkey in the Equinox EV. America's most affordable EV with a 315-plus mile range. Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Now during Red Tag, get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment is 26.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25.
Thank you!
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
The revolution will not be televised.
This is Brother Cornell West. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm full of joy and delight to announce that I'm joining the precious family at KBLA Talk 1580, founded and led by my dear brother Tavis Smiley himself. Yes, the name of the show is Truth Time, and I'll be working with the inimitable Nina Turner out of Cleveland, Ohio, sister of great vision, and we will be on weekdays at 12 noon. We will be following Brother Tavis Smiley's show. We will begin Monday, January the 6th. That's right, Monday, January the 6th. Get ready for a different kind of insurrection. We coming with Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Curtis Mayfield and Aretha Franklin, and gonna add a little Gil Scott-Heron too, as Nina Simone sits at the center. That's right.
The revolution will be live.
That's what we gonna do. Please come with us on this fantastic voyage.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, so this crisis in the press, and look, somebody's in the chat saying CBS better not see this. Even they make mistakes, okay? That's why they have retractions. So yes, ABC is who is paying off the president to stay in his good graces. I didn't realize, I'm reading in the New York Post of all places, which is a right-wing rag. It's interesting that they're attacking the owner of the LA Times, but actually, I got to say, rightfully so, because they're talking about how he has apparently told the editorial staff that they are not to write about Trump anymore, and that they're only allowed to ever write an editorial about Trump unless he sees it first and it's printed side by side with the opposite perspective. I'm laughing to keep from crying because this is next level meddling, and this guy is another billionaire, and the billionaires are buying up the news sources, and we're going to have to get a lot smarter and media savvy. So he bought the Times back in 2018, and what they're saying is that he is now intervening much more directly than ever before. Every single editorial, according to the Post, has to be run by the owner of the LA Times, Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong. What I did not know, and this is very interesting, is that Soon-Shiong was born in South Africa. Why is that very interesting? Well, it seems that the president-elect is being supported and surrounded by a number of South African rich people. Of course, Elon Musk, the most famous, right? He's a white South African billionaire whose family was already rich before he immigrated to Canada and then illegally immigrated to the U.S. before he got his paperwork right. Peter Thiel, the billionaire architect of J.D. Vance, the patron saint of J.D. Vance, is a billionaire who is also South African. David Sachs, part of what they call the PayPal Mafia, another billionaire who is handing over millions and millions of dollars to the president-elect, is also South African. And now you have this Patrick Soon-Shiong. I don't know that he was born in South Africa. And I don't know what that means or doesn't mean. I'll have to do more research. But certainly we know what it means when it comes to some of these other folks. They were born and at least partly raised in the apartheid nation. Now, we know that South Africa is no longer under apartheid. But as someone who's recently spent time there, I can tell you the attitudes, the remnants, the residual of apartheid is definitely there. And I don't know why I didn't think it would be. I mean, the residual of Jim Crow is still here. And the height of Jim Crow is much further in the rearview mirror than the height of apartheid. Apartheid only goes away. It only falls in the 1980s. And my experience, and I went to South Africa as a middle-class privileged American tourist, I found the attitudes of the white folks there to be very blatantly racist. And it was one of the reasons, even though South Africa is beautiful, Cape Town is lovely, why I preferred my visits to other African nations where the black people own the land, the government in many cases owns the land, and where they have true political power. Yeah, they're white South Africans, HW. That's my point. So we're talking about an oligarchy and the potential new apartheid regime. Very interesting. Very interesting that now, if this guy is, this is leaking because LA Times editorial staff is getting angry. They're saying that he's preemptively censoring their editorials. That every editorial has to be sent in to him along with the writer's name, which means that's going to make writers more cautious about what they say if they want to keep their jobs. It is not a good sign for the American press. I mean, the guy hasn't even taken office yet, and it seems we are already in crisis. Speaking of South Africa, somebody called, couldn't stay on the phone, wanted an update on our Africa trip. We will be going in June to Nigeria and Ghana and the Republic of Benin. Last time we went to Benin City, but this is not Benin City. This is a separate country, the Republic of Benin in West Africa. So we'll hit 3 different countries. And I am happy but also sad for you if you were trying to go to say that we are sold out. The trip is sold out. If you want to come in 2026, we will be going someplace different. Not sure yet. We figure it out through a process that usually takes place during the time when we are in the country of the year. So around June, we'll probably figure out where we're going in 2026. But if you want to track it, I suggest you go to africanfocus.org or follow African Focus on Instagram. You can also follow me. I usually have stuff about it. But I'm going to tell you, our Africa trips have gotten a lot more popular, and I think people are less scared to go to the motherland because the year of return, so many celebs went. We started going back in 2016. But in 2019, when a bunch of celebrities, including Steve Harvey, went to Ghana, I think more of us started feeling like it was safe to go in the water. And stop believing the hype about traveling in Africa. I mean, traveling in Africa is no more perilous than traveling anywhere else. As a tourist, you always have to pay attention and not do stupid stuff. If you wouldn't do it in Watts, if you wouldn't do it in the Bronx, don't do it in Thailand, don't do it in Kenya. So, really looking forward to those trips. And once again, this is a joint effort between African Focus Incorporated and KBLA Talk 1580. So we're taking you with us virtually, even if we're not taking you with us literally. We'll be broadcasting every weekday that we are in Africa from all 3 countries. And we'll be sharing pictures and live streams whenever possible on socials. So you will be exploring the country with us, even if you're not getting on the plane. And all you have to do is follow us. Follow us at KBLA 1580 on all social media platforms, including YouTube. Please like and subscribe and comment. Those are the things that keep us strong and healthy as a business and keep us on the microphone, which I think will be increasingly important in this current media environment of censorship and backtracking. I don't know. Somehow I just don't see the owner of this station, Tavis Smiley, putting out an edict that we must not talk about Trump or that we must run all editorial positions by him. I just don't see that happening. And it is the small, Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, independent, truly independent outlets that are going to become more and more important as the reign of the untruth social digs in for Trump 2.0. We're already seeing it. So we love and appreciate your support. You know, whether you're advertising on this station, that helps us. Advertisers, big and small, we encourage you to back us up. Or whether it's just hitting the like button or subscribing, commenting. You can find me at DiPrima Radio. That's DIPRIMA and then radio. And I always love talking with you, fighting with you, and finding fellowship on socials. It's a perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580. And if you weren't with me first thing in the morning, you may not know that next hour we're talking with DJ extraordinaire, D-Nice. There's a lot going on around here. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been hearing me guest host here on KBLA Talk 1580, and I'm having a blast. But I'm excited about joining the official lineup here at KBLA Talk 1580 starting Monday, January 6th at 1 p.m. Start your day with First Things First and Dominique DiPrima at 6 a.m. Check out Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Tune into Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon, and then tap in with me on The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. weekdays. I served 17 years in the U.S. Congress, and I can tell you it's going to be a rough 4 years, so let's navigate this journey together. It's The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, starting Monday, January 6th at 1 p.m. on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Many homeowners and businesses use man-made stone as an alternative to traditional stone for their countertops. Handling these products puts workers' lives at risk. Without proper conditions, workers could die from the terminal lung disease silicosis. Employers must supply respiratory protection and water systems. It's essential to wet stone when cutting it to prevent breathing in dust. Do away with dusty, deadly practices. Visit WorkSafeWithSilica.org. This is a message from Cal OSHA.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
They are rocking and rolling in the chat as usual, and making some great points as far as where we are with the media right now. Ken Vanderbilt says hopefully KBLA doesn't get on the future president's hit list of media enemies. I hope we don't, but we might already be on that list between myself, Mr. Smiley, and now we're being joined by Dr. West starting January 6th, who you may recall ran against Mr. Trump. Honey Brown 24 says, I've said that we need to bring back an updated Green Book. It's a great idea, and that Green Book may need to include some press. Honey Brown also says the Fourth Estate is dead. Find alternate media sources. The Fourth Estate, of course, referring to the press as one of the pillars of influence in a democratic society. We shall see. I think we're going to fight. I think that when you talk about ABC, not CBS, ABC, but I mean, we'll see what NBC, CBS do. When you talk about even Meta, you're looking at huge corporations, right? It's not a standalone newspaper. The LA Times is, but it's owned by a billionaire who has other financial interests and who knows what deals. You don't know what he promised. I said it when the LA Times and the Washington Post decided not to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris. I said at that time the billionaires had a secret meeting. And I wasn't joking. And it appears that they have. Or perhaps several. Ante up. $1 million and a few changes. And I think we can anticipate some changes to the algorithms of Meta. Hopefully it won't be as extreme as what we've seen in Twitter, but we don't know, and we have no control over that. Zuckerberg went and kissed the ring, anteed up his $1 million, and we don't know what he promised. Bezos went, anteed up his $1 million, kissed the ring, and we don't know what he promised. He owns the Washington Post, not just Amazon. And he's typically in contention for the title of richest man in the world. So it's not just kissing the butt, which apparently is a requirement with Trump. It's also getting to a point where they're giving in. Okay, oligarchy it is, billionaire party. Forget I said anything bad. Forget about the rest, the bottom 99% of humans and whatever I had of a moral compass or ethical blueprint. I'm just going all in on being a billionaire. Here's my $1 million. Let me roll over and play dead. And let me micromanage my staff. And these threats, we expect them to go on. The president-elect threatening Liz Cheney now, saying that he thinks some shady things happened in January 6th. So one of the reasons I point this out is because when he was campaigning, the 47-elect said that he was going to retaliate against political foes and the press. He said he was going to be revoking broadcast licenses and trying to prosecute folks. What they call the so-called Biden crime family, which I think is hilarious because they stole it from the left when we call them the Trump crime family, except for one has crimes, way more crimes than the other. As a crime family, I mean, the Bidens have done some things we don't love, but they're a big fail as a crime family. If you look at the Trumps, they've garnered billions from their crimes. If you're going to do crimes, at least get rich. And a lot of people didn't believe that he would do what he said, that he would actually try to jail fellow politicians and punish news agencies. But he's showing us before he's even in office that he will, saying that Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble. And I imagine it's the tip of the iceberg. Hopefully he'll be too distracted with the shenanigans of the clown car full of weirdos that he has I name called. I say I don't try to name call, but okay, of weird acting people. Is that better? Who he is planning to nominate for various cabinet positions. But here's a little interesting bright spot. The House Ethics Committee has decided that they will release the report on the conduct of Matt Gaetz, the former congressman who quickly, hurriedly, guiltily retired, seemingly guiltily retired from Congress, thinking he was going to be Secretary of Defense and then withdrew from contention as Secretary of Defense because he didn't want this report to come out, and who knows what else would have come out in those hearings to get him confirmed. Well, now they secretly voted to release that report, and what's going to be a doozy. CNN is breaking this news. They're saying they voted along party lines in November, but the thing about it is Republicans control the House at this moment. So it wasn't strictly along party lines. And we know people hate Gates, so some people decided to go ahead and force him to show his behind. And that's good news. It's good, not just good news because we want to know all of the terrible pedophilia adventures of Congressman Gates before he reappears as something else. Maybe not Secretary of Defense, but something else. Oh, wait, it was a DOJ, not Defense. Hegseth, the other sex offender, is DOJ. Well, one of the other big-time sex offenders. But, he'll pop up somewhere. He'll reappear somewhere. Right now, he's doing videos on Cameo. You can, if you got $500 to waste, you can get Matt Gaetz to record a video for you, because that's what Cameo is. It's a site where celebs and disgraced politicians can make a few bucks on the side. Remember, Representative Santos was there. So you can pay to have him say all manner of things. But anyway, he's going to raise his corrupted, addled head somewhere else. So it's good that they're releasing this report, but it's also good because it means there's a tiny bit of dissent in the Republican Party. And since their control of the House of Representatives will be just by a sliver, at least for the first few months in office, that means that some of the agenda may end up being blocked. Some of these more cuckoo cabinet choices may not make it through if they decided to. And that might not be true because a lot of people hate Gates. So this could just be the Gates effect. But there's also a possibility that it means that there's enough dissent within the Republican Party that their tiny little somewhere between 1 and 4 vote majority that they have. And I say somewhere between 1 and 4 because the president-elect has tapped some members of Congress for cabinet posts, which if they're actually approved could mean that they're not available for votes. On top of that, how quickly they can be replaced is a factor. So that majority in the House of Representatives is fairly slim at this point. And that's good news because it means that even though he's lying and saying he has a mandate, which we know he does not, it will make it a little harder for them to do some of the more way out there things that they plan to do. Meanwhile, back in America, Joe Biden is still the president for about 30 days. Meanwhile, Japanese Americans continue to pressure the president, the actual president, Biden, to pay reparations to the surviving members of the Black Wall Street. Meanwhile, Reparations United at reparationsunited.org continues to lobby and petition. There's a petition you could sign. The president-elect to do, no, not the president-elect, the actual president, Biden, to do an executive order around reparations. Well, the 47th will just reverse it, you say. Yeah, true. But make him reverse it. Make him show who he really is. And then, those of you reparationists who are still either ops or delusional will have to face the music about where this guy really is on issues like reparations. I think that is very, very important. And so it's not too late. And while he may do nothing, at least we can say we tried. Yeah. So let's continue to remember who the president is and spend some time if we can, if you have the opportunity, if you have the wherewithal to make a call to the White House, to make it go on the White House website. They have a place where you can comment or make a request, to send emails, because he can do a lot of things. And even if it was just symbolic, let's waste some of 47's time undoing executive orders on voting rights, on policing, on reparations, on women's rights, on the environment. Just, this is the time. Pardon, commute, order. I'm not saying that you should arrest everybody. A lot of folks are saying, use your immunity. But do something, like Michelle Obama said, do something. News, traffic, and sports, and then we'll be talking with Dee Nice on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A 7.3 magnitude earthquake in the Pacific Island nation Vanuatu damaged the U.S. Embassy and caused communication outages, killing more than one person. All U.S. Embassy personnel safely evacuated. Congress will vote this week on a stopgap spending bill that includes new restrictions on U.S. investments in Chinese technology and AI aimed at protecting national security. The NBA All-Star Game will feature a new format this season, a 3-game tournament between 4 teams, including the Rising Stars winner. Honorary GMs include Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Candace Parker.